What's up everybody? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Thank you for tuning in. And in today's video, we're going to be talking about a $40,000 wholesale deal I did in Mesa, Arizona. That being said, if you're not already subscribed to the channel, make sure you go down below, hit the red button and subscribe. A good percentage of my viewers are watching, but they're not subscribing. I'll pop the analytics up right now. And it really helps me reach more people and impact more lives if you subscribe, so please go ahead and do so. But other than that, let's get right into the video. Alright, that's right. In today's video, we're going to be talking about a $40,000 wholesale deal I did in Mesa, Arizona. First, let's talk about how I got the lead. How did I find the motivated seller that wanted to sell the house? I did cold calling marketing in order to find the motivated seller. I used the cold callers from thecallgenius.com and I called a high equity list of homeowners. So that's homeowners that have lived in their property for a long period of time and have built up equity, right? They've paid down the mortgage and now their property is worth more than what they owe. They have equity. So I called a list with my cold callers, a high equity list, and I found this motivated seller. The cold caller collected some simple information from the motivated seller about why they wanted to sell the property, how much they wanted, and a little bit about the condition of the property. And then they went ahead and passed that lead through to me and my team in the office. Once the lead came through to me and my team in my office, my sales reps started calling that lead and started pulling out more information. So my sales rep got on the phone with the homeowner and started building rapport, started building a relationship with them so that way they would trust doing business with us. And then they asked about the condition of the property. Questions such as, what countertops are in the kitchen? What color are the cabinets? What flooring is throughout the property? How old is the roof? How old is the AC? Any other recent upgrades that you have done that you would like me to know? These are the questions that we asked them about the condition. Once my sales rep asked all those questions about condition, the next thing we went into was their motivation, their pain points. Why did they really want to sell, right? You know, nobody's just going to sell a house for no reason, really. So we wanted to pull out exactly why they wanted to sell, so that way we could use that to our advantage when negotiating. So this situation was very similar to one of my recent deals that I broke down on my YouTube channel, where the seller didn't have much of a reason to sell the property. She just wanted to sell the property because her daughter was living in it and her daughter was ready to move out and buy her own property, so they no longer needed it. That's the only reason why she wanted to sell. The daughter was ready to move out, and so she's like, hey, I'm ready to sell it. So now that we knew that the property condition was, you know, a little bit outdated, but it wasn't terrible. The property did need some updates and could use some work, but it wasn't terrible, so we knew that. And now we knew the reason why she wanted to sell, because her daughter was moving out of the house. So then the final thing we needed to find out was how much money she wanted. Now, as you know, in a negotiation, the first person to say a number loses. So we always try at least 3 times to pull out the motivated seller's asking price before we even give an offer. The first person to give a number loses, so we always want to get their number first. And when I got the number from her, she wanted full retail for the property. She wanted full market value. This property was worth about $500,000. And that was her asking price. She wanted full market value, right? So I knew I had to bring her down in order for this to be a deal. My sales rep knew that we were going to have to negotiate a lot. But remember, there's always a price that somebody wants and there's always a price that somebody is willing to take and be content with. So we knew we had room to negotiate here. And always remember, in a good negotiation, both parties are supposed to walk away content. One party isn't supposed to walk away happy. Both parties aren't supposed to walk away happy. That's not really how a good negotiation goes. If you're negotiating properly and the negotiation goes to its fullest extent, then both parties will walk away content, and that's when you have negotiated good. Now, after talking further with the seller, we came to realize that that $500,000 number to her was really a joke. She was just throwing numbers out. She really didn't know what the property was worth, and so she was just throwing out a high number to be safe. But she was definitely willing to negotiate a lot, which, you know, we were concerned. We knew we needed to lock up the property for $400,000. So we knew we were going to have to negotiate around $100,000 off of her asking price. So thank God she wasn't really serious about that $500,000 number. Now you're probably asking, how did I know that I needed to pay $100,000 for the property? How did I know that that was my maximum allowed offer that I could make the seller? Well, good thing I have my calculator. I created an offer calculator where all you do is plug in some comparables and it spits out all the other information for you and tells you exactly what offer to make the seller in order to have a wholesale deal. If you want to use the same offer calculator that I use in order to do all my calculations and make all my offers, it's available at jacobblank.com/shop. And I also use PropStream in order to find the value in the area to figure out what the house is worth and find comparable sales. If you want a 7-day free trial on PropStream, there's a link down below in the description. Now that being said, I knew I needed to get it at 400 and I knew she wanted 400, but that wasn't really serious. And you know, that's $100,000 that I was going to have to negotiate down, which is tough. But after we started negotiating, you know, she really started to drop her number lower. She instantly went from wanting $500,000 to $450,000. And at that point, we knew we could probably bring her down to $400,000 because she was quick to go down $50,000. So we negotiated back and forth and we were finally able to bring her down to $400,000 for the property, and she agreed to that. You know, she'd owned the property for a long time. She'd built up a lot of equity, and at $400,000, she was going to make good money on the deal, so it was worth it for her to do it. So now that we had her agree to $400,000, we sent over the contract via e-signature. I highly recommend that you're getting all your deals signed through the computer, through e-signature, rather than driving out to the property and having an appointment. So many times we go out to a property for an appointment and they say they're ready to sign on the dotted line, but they just don't do it. Now we wasted our time driving out to the property and back to the office when we could have been on the phone trying to get other deals. So I highly recommend that you try to sign everybody through the computer, and that is what we do. So we sent over the contract via e-signature. It took her a couple hours to look over the contract, but then she signed and boom, we had a deal locked up. Now that we had the deal locked up, we sent that contract over to title and we opened up escrow. Now that we opened up escrow, title can do the title search on the property, make sure there's no liens or judgments against the property, so that way it has a clear conveyable title. Now that we had the deal locked up and that we opened up escrow, it was time to market the deal. And we needed pictures of the property. Good thing the daughter was okay with sending us pictures of the property, and we just told her to send us pictures of every room, the front of the house, the backyard, and the hot water heater, and the electrical box, and the AC unit if possible. And she sent all those photos over to us fairly quickly, and now we were ready to start marketing the deal to our cash buyers. Now, like I said, the property didn't need much work. Now, we're in a really competitive market right now. The market is on fire, and so buyers are paying a lot more than they normally do. So that being said, I started marketing the deal pretty high at $450,000. But I knew $450,000 in this market, because it's so hot, the market in Arizona, you know, that wasn't a far stretch because the property didn't need that much work. So I email blasted the deal out to all my cash buyers and I started getting offers back. I got offers around 400 in the 370s, so I got a bunch of super low offers at first, and I was concerned that, you know, we weren't going to be able to make much money on this deal. But then I got an offer at $430,000 for the property. Once that $430,000 offer came in, I got that buyer on the phone and I started working them up on price. I started negotiating and I was able to bring that buyer up to $440,000. You always have to negotiate on the acquisition in order to get the deal lower, and on the disposition, you need to negotiate to sell higher. You always need to negotiate as much as you can in order to make as much as you can. Remember, every $1,000 counts and it adds up, right? If you do a bunch of deals and you get $1,000 extra on every single one, that could be another $20,000, $30,000, $40,000. So make sure to negotiate and negotiate well and master your skills in negotiating. So now that I got the buyer to agree to $440,000, I sent them over an assignment contract, and they signed it, and then I signed it. I sent that over to title, and I had them deposit $5,000 earnest money the next day. Keep in mind, that $5,000 earnest money deposit is non-refundable. If that buyer backs out of the deal, I get that $5,000, so that makes the buyer not want to back out of the deal. Now I had the whole deal lined up, so now we just needed to go through the transaction process, and that was fairly simple on this deal too, because it was a pretty easygoing seller. They weren't breathing down our neck the whole time about deadlines and what's going on, this, that, the third. They let the deal just go through the process and close, and so it was fairly simple to get through the transaction process. And boom, on the day of closing, the buyer signed closing docs, and the seller signed closing docs, the buyer wired money, and the deal closed and recorded with the county. And there we go, we got paid on another amazing wholesale deal, a $40,000 deal. So amazing. If you guys want to learn exactly how I'm doing these deals every single month, how I scaled a business in order to do 10 to 20 deals a month and produce around $300,000 every month. That's right, we're doing around $300,000 a month in revenue now. We're doing amazing, we're crushing it. So that being said, if you want to learn my exact techniques, tips, and tricks on exactly how to grow a business just like this, make sure to go check out reiscalers.com. There's a link down below in the description for reiscalers.com. It's my program that teaches you step by step everything I know about this business, so that way you can have the exact same success and achieve financial freedom through wholesaling real estate. So if you're interested in that, make sure to go check that out. But other than that, thank you guys so much for tuning into another video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to hit the like button. Also, go down below, hit the red button, and subscribe to the channel. It helps me reach more people and impact more lives. So I'd really appreciate it if you do so. But other than that, I'll see you guys next time. Peace.